As I said when we went to break there, we're going to bring all of the experts here. We're going to try to run them through here so we get a little expert advice for everybody out there on the Energy Saving in the Home radio show. And the next guest that I actually have on today is going to be Dan Marshall with Innovative Skylights and Attics. And Dan, welcome to the Energy Saving Home radio show. Now, I know they had to go drag you out of the booth, okay, because you're always talking to people about attics and skylights, right?
Yak, 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 yak. Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, I know you love your job, man. And you got a great booth here. We're at the Woodlands, 10th Annual Woodlands Home and Garden Show here. And come out and visit and say hello to us. And so, Dan, you've been doing attics and stuff for a while. Tell our listeners what's going on.
To burn the hair
yeah,
off my
that's
head.
right, exactly. and that's what happens when you go in these 140-degree attics, right?
Yes, it's kind of gross.
So what do we do with them?
Well, one of the things we do a lot of is the attic ventilation. You know, we look at the soffit vents, make sure that you have air supply that comes in. We measure the cubic volume and then make fan recommendations for ventilation. You can do radiant barrier, and we can do the insulation too.
Yeah, and we had you on the show here a few weeks back.
Right.
Great calls, a lot of interest. I mean, you know,
One of the guys who's listening came and asked, I heard you on the radio, he started asking questions.
Cool.
I thought that was that's the guy.
Oh, that's the guy that I
Yes,
met over there. Okay.
yes.
Yeah, and see, that's what happens. You get to listen to us, then you have no idea what we look like, and then you come and you go, where's this guy? And you start asking, and then you find the Dan Marshalls of the world here. So, right?
Yeah,
that's
good.
kind of the way it works. Okay, so we got to get the ventilation right in the attics. Insulation is a component to that as well.
Right.
Okay. So how big a factor is this getting these attics cooled down?
Well, if you don't mind your energy bill being through the roof and not being able to cool your house off, but if you want to take care of things, have a healthy house, it's a big deal.
Okay.
Ventilation's always a big issue, and you can reduce 10, 15, 20, 30 degrees on your attic temperature. Your attic system, you know it, your AC system's a lot healthier. It operates more efficiently. You get a better flow. Your air, everything just works better. Your house is healthier.
Now, we're going to do this a couple of times during this segment here, but tell everybody how to get in touch with you other than if they want to come down. They can come down tomorrow, too. The show is open today until, I believe, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. That's right. And then tomorrow from 10 to 6. That's right. Yeah. So come down. You can see Dan Marshall here. You can also visit with us. We'll be in the broadcast area tomorrow as well. Just standing here basically talking to people, educating. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. But how
they can get a hold of us at calling us 713-466-1551. They can call us anytime, or Innovative Skylights and Attics. So there's innovativeskylights.com and innovativeattics.com, because my business, we do the attics and also the energy efficient skylights, and we do a lot of skylight repair and restoration.
Yeah, I know you do, and that's a very interesting, because I think that probably our listeners would say, skylights, how efficient can a skylight be? But they really have made great leaps and bounds in that arena, haven't they?
Massive difference. It's hard for people to understand, but when I tell them, if you take your single pane window and put it next to your double pane window, then the conversation is fully understood. There's a big, big difference from air infiltration to just the insulated factor of the double pane glass versus the single pane glass. And then when we change them out, they usually get a lot more light, and they're usually astounded.
Yeah. Okay, so we're specifically, that's what we're talking about, a skylight itself. Okay, so the energy efficiency of the skylight is remarkable compared to what it used to be. It used to be basically a hole in the roof, right?
Yes.
Is it still kind of a hole in the roof?
A skylight will let heat in.
Okay.
Can't stop it.
Right.
But a new skylight is Energy Star rated. With the old ones, there's no chance.
What about sun tubes? Just the
sun tunnels, if
yeah.
you want an energy efficient way to get natural light in the house, you cannot beat it. So you don't get the heat, you don't get the leaks, and you don't get the UV rays.
So typically, where do you put those? Bathrooms, hallways, areas that maybe would just, for natural lighting?
Pardon the expression, but where the sun don't shine, my friend.
Okay. So a bathroom where maybe obscure
hallways.
windows. Yeah.
We do a lot of kitchens, because kitchens are highlight need. Ladies don't like going in the kitchen. They can't see their hands.
Right.
That's a problem.
Okay.
So I don't like doing bedrooms. I advise against that. I have done them. But when people convert a bedroom to an office, we've done plenty of those. So
yeah, and I guess I can kind of see the bedroom scenario. If it's a full moon night, that might be as well as just having the light on in.
Night light in your face.
That's right. So I can see why you wouldn't want to do it in the bedrooms.
I tell people, if you're ever sick, think about what you're doing.
Okay.
And make sure you do the right thing.
Okay. So I jumped out of the attic because it was so hot up there, and it already burnt the hair off your head. So I didn't want to stay there too long, but I'm going to go off on the
The
skylights.
sweat is dried up. We're okay.
That's right. The sweat's dried up. We got Dan out of the attic here. Got him in the cool spot here, and it is cool here. So if you're hot outside and you're in the Woodlands area, come on down to the Waterway Marriott here, and you can definitely be cool, because there were some ladies in there going, oh, it's cold inside here, but it's really comfortable.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah, Tony makes it a very comfortable place to be at here when we're at the home show. So booth number is? Okay.
I've been in the 400 aisle since the show started.
Yeah, you haven't been in the same place.
I've never moved.
Haven't you? Yeah.
So I think it's 412, 420.
Okay, just look for Innovative Skylights.
I've got a double booth. You'll see the skylights. You can't miss it. The solar attic fan and the big banners that I have.
And that was my segue. Okay, that's exactly where I wanted to go. I wanted to talk about the solar fan and the importance of that. Now, some people may say, don't put a solar fan on, just use regular air hawks. And so are they right or wrong?
Passive ventilation moves 2 times. It can exchange in the air 2 times per hour. When you go to powered ventilation, you should hit 8.
So passive is an air hawk with intakes, soffit intakes.
Air hawk, ridge vent.
Something like that.
Some kind of just non-operable issue.
And then the active ventilation is the solar fan.
No,
and it's a solar fan.
We use the solar. I don't like the electrical. We replace a lot of electrical with solar because the electrical's 2 to 5 year lifespan. It burns up. And think about this. If you have something that has electricity hooked up to it and it's not operating and it may be drinking energy, is that a fire hazard?
I would say it very well could be.
So why would you put a fire hazard?
That's right, in your attic where you can't see it. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going with it. So the solar fans have tax incentives as well, don't
30% on the installed. So it's not just the fan, it's both installation and the fan. Good through 2016. So you don't have to get this year, but you know, if you have a hot attic, why you waiting?
That attic cool down. Yeah.
Right.
You know, I've seen situations where you could take the attic, and you mentioned this a while ago when you were talking about the ventilation component. You can take this attic temperature significantly down. So let's say you have an attic now, and you stick your head up in there to get something out of it or put something in, and it takes your breath away. Trust me, that thing is affecting the efficiency of your whole house.
Well, your insulation has no chance. So you've kind of shot yourself in the foot. Your AC may have internal sweating due to temperature variance. You need to get the temperature down.
Right.
And those that literally take your breath away, those are 140, 150. Mm-hmm. You can knock 20, 30 degrees right off.
And that is huge because let's think about this. The ductwork for the air conditioning system in an attic, older ductwork, maybe it was a 4. Maybe.
If it's put together. Right.
Well, I'm not talking about the air leakage now. I'm talking about just the resistance of we're going to lose this cool air out of this duct, right?
Yes, sir.
And it travels across the attic, and it's an R3 or 4 maybe if at best. And plus, on top of that, if you've got leakage, it's even worse. And we put it in this terrible attic temperature. But if you can reduce that attic temperature 20 or 30 degrees like that, then it's going to really enhance the ability of that HVAC system to work properly and save you a lot of money. So,
well, then when the AC turns on, you don't have the heater first, then the air conditioning second.
And, you know, I've had people say, you know, why is this blast of hot air coming out? Well, it's because your attic is, you know, 30 degrees hotter than it needs to be, and all that accumulates, and then you get the cold air. Well, it has to push the hot air out of the way to get there. You don't have those scenarios when you got a sealed duct system and you got a properly ventilated attic.
Right.
And where I was going to go with that attic scenario before I completely go off topic here is that we've seen those attic temperatures be able to be reduced with this active ventilation with power solar fans like this, proper intakes, where it was only 1 degree hotter in the attic than it was the outside.
At your bottom 2 to 3 feet, yes, you can do that. Once you go mid, it's about 10 to 15 degrees. But your AC sits in your bottom 2 to 3 feet, obviously. And yes, we've hit ambient.
Wow, that's amazing.
But
so
that's the bottom part. So if you take a lot of people read a mid temperature,
right,
you're within 10 to 15 degrees of outside.
Okay, so again, you know, you have to go out and look at these houses because all these attic configurations are different. Right. Some require different things. You know, one of the things that I thought, or I think is amazing when we're talking about attics is that a lot of times the soffit vents are covered up and people don't even know that.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who sell fans that don't do a proper, thorough investigation of the attic. You have to go in. It's a pain. It stinks. You put your head in the nails of the roof, but you walk around the perimeter. You look for daylight. You see daylight, you have the potential air that can come in. Now you need to pull it through. So that is a huge, huge, huge part of attic ventilation.
Okay. So Dan Marshall, innovativeskylights.com or innovativeattics.com. Okay, and your phone number?
713-466-1551.
Or you can come down and visit with Dan Marshall here at the 10th Annual Woodlands Home and Garden Show.
Has it been that many?
That's what I was told.
Boy.
And you've been here since the beginning of this.
Day one.
Okay, this is what happens. If you want your attic done properly, Dan Marshall's the guy. He's been here for 10 years now doing this home show. He is an expert, and he is the official Energy Saving in the Home radio experts on attics. And if you want some of those skylights or those sun tubes, give Dan a call. Again, give the phone number, Dan.
713-466-1551.
Okay, there you go. We are broadcasting live from the fall 10th Annual Home and Garden Show at the Woodlands. It's the Waterway Marriott Woodlands, and we welcome you to come by. The broadcast booth is here. Come by and say hello to us here at the Woodlands Home and Garden Show. We're going to take a quick break here on the Energy Saving in the Home radio show, and we'll be back in just a minute.